Hello, and welcome to Softer. This is Mara Morales. Welcome back to Softness in Action. This week, we've been focusing on strengthening our relationships. We've practiced being fully present. We've chosen curiosity over assumptions. We've helped others feel important. And today, we're going to talk about something every healthy relationship requires from time to time: repair. No relationship is perfect. Not friendships, not marriages, not families, not relationships with coworkers or neighbors. If you spend enough time with another person, eventually someone will misunderstand something. Someone will say the wrong thing. Someone will forget. Someone will disappoint the other. That's part of being human. What determines the strength of a relationship isn't whether conflict happens. It's what happens afterward. Do we ignore it? Do we let resentment quietly grow? Or do we gently move toward one another? Repair begins with courage. The courage to have an uncomfortable conversation. The courage to admit that we've made a mistake. The courage to ask, can we start again? Sometimes repair begins with an apology. Sometimes it begins with forgiveness. And sometimes it simply begins with a willingness to understand instead of defend. One sincere conversation can prevent months or even years of distance. There's a beautiful phrase that says, people don't need perfect relationships. They need relationships where people are willing to repair. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. Because trust isn't built by never making mistakes. Trust is built when people know they'll be met with honesty, humility, and care after mistakes happen. Today's small act of kindness is simple. Take one small step toward repair. It doesn't have to solve everything today. Maybe you send a text that says, I've been thinking about you. Maybe you apologize for something that's been weighing on your heart. Maybe you ask someone if they'd be willing to talk. Or maybe you simply let someone know they matter more to you than being right. Small acts of repair often become the beginning of healing. And don't forget your relationship with yourself. If you've been carrying regret, if you've been replaying an old mistake, perhaps today is also an opportunity to begin repairing the relationship you have with yourself. Healing often begins with the words, I deserve another chance. Kindness fuels kindness, which fuels kindness. And some of the strongest relationships aren't the ones that never break. They're the ones that chose to come back together with love. Now, let's slow down together. Find a comfortable position, sitting or lying down. If it feels safe, gently close your eyes. Take a slow breath in and slowly let it go. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Allow your shoulders to soften. Relax your jaw. Let your hands rest comfortably. Bring your awareness to your breath. Now picture someone with whom there's a little distance. Perhaps there's been a misunderstanding, or maybe you've simply drifted apart. Imagine the two of you sitting together. Notice yourself listening with an open heart. Notice yourself speaking gently. Notice yourself choosing connection over pride. Feel the space between you becoming just a little smaller. Now, silently repeat, may I have the courage to repair. May I choose humility over pride. May love always be greater than my need to be right. Take one more slow breath in and slowly exhale. Rest here for another moment. Notice how peaceful it feels to imagine moving toward healing instead of away from it. Begin bringing your awareness back to your body. Notice the surface beneath you. Gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes. As part of this week's Softness in Action challenge, spend a few moments with your Softness in Action journal. Reflect on these questions. Is there a relationship that could benefit from one small act of repair? What has kept me from taking the first step? What might become possible if I chose courage over comfort? Sometimes healing begins with just one conversation. Before we finish today, I'd love to share another softer story. This one comes from Andrea in Richmond, Virginia. She writes, Dear Mara, my younger sister and I didn't speak for almost 2 years after an argument neither of us could even fully remember anymore. One afternoon, I was cleaning out a drawer when I found an old birthday card she had made for me when we were kids. On the front, in crooked handwriting, it said, You'll always be my best friend. I sat on the floor and cried. That evening, I sent her a simple text. I've been thinking about you. I miss you. Would you like to come have coffee sometime? She replied less than a minute later, I've been hoping you'd ask. We met the following weekend. Neither of us remembered every detail of what caused the argument, but we both remembered how much we loved each other. That day taught me something I'll never forget. Sometimes peace begins with one person being brave enough to reach out first. Thank you, Andrea, for sharing your beautiful story. I love how your story reminds us that relationships are rarely healed by waiting. More often, they're healed by someone choosing courage, humility, and love before certainty. Now we'd love to hear yours. Has someone ever shown you kindness you'll never forget? Has a simple act of compassion changed the way you see the world? Or has softer inspired you to become a little gentler with yourself or someone else? Share your softer story by emailing us at thesofterpodcast@gmail.com. Your story may be featured in a future episode and could become the encouragement someone else needs to hear. And if these daily moments of reflection are meaningful to you, please take a moment to like, follow, and subscribe to Softer. It helps us reach more hearts and continue to build a kinder, more connected world together. Thank you for listening to Softer. Our music is by Rebecca De La Torre and Thomas Searing. Softer is produced by Michelle Severson. This has been Mara Morales. Carry the softness with you today.